Are you looking for your next opportunity in the workforce? Look no further. UPS Jobs Kentucky is now hiring at upsjobsky.com. Right now, we are offering up to $18.50 an hour. You may even be eligible for a program that helps you graduate college completely debt-free and could also include a $325 a month living allowance paid directly to you. Follow us at UPS Jobs Kentucky and apply today at upsjobsky.com.
There's nothing more important than a child's health. That's why Body Armor Sports Drink is proud to partner with Walmart and Children's Miracle Network Hospitals, raising funds for 156 children's hospitals across the U.S. Children's hospitals are on the front lines when it comes to protecting the health of our future generations. But they are not alone. Please join Body Armor Sports Drink to support the cause. Together, when we change kids' health, we change the future. Go to childrensmiraclenetworkhospitals.org to donate and learn more. That's childrensmiraclenetworkhospitals.org.
GE Appliances is hiring full-time for all shifts. Join our manufacturing team and make up to $660 per week. Apply today at makeitatatthepark.com. Make a difference. Make it at GE Appliance Park.
Head over to the GE Appliances Podcast Center on ESPNLouisville.com.
You're listening to The Diener Show, presented by OPC Pest Services on ESPN 680, 105.7, and 93.9 The Ville. Now, here's Drew Diener and Mark Blakenbaker.
And we are back here with you on Radio Row, 93.9 The Ville, ESPN 680 from ACC Kickoff. This is Louisville's day here as the festivities, if you will, if you call interviews festivities, are getting underway around 9 o'clock. We were able to Coach Satterfield on in the last hours. The one bit of news out of that is they're going to have a spring game next year. And I think TV dictates a lot of that, but
sure,
I think that's newsworthy. And I think a lot of fans probably happy to hear that because I think they do. It is a way to connect with the team in the offseason. And I think that's exciting. It's exciting news as having a spring game gets.
It is, but it's also it says something to recruits. We had our spring game and our pro day on the ACC network, and if they're showing Clemson's pro day and they're showing Clemson's spring game on the ACC network, you don't want to have a recruit in there that might be deciding between NC State and Clemson, and then NC State say, oh yeah, well we don't have it on there, because that's a differentiator, and you don't want Clemson to be able to say, they don't even have their spring game on the ACC network. The league doesn't even think to pick it up. So it's one of those things that it's an arms race in college football.
You just got to do it. Yeah,
you just got to do
it. You got to do it, but they haven't done it. But now I'm glad that they are doing it. So I don't know. We'll effort Malik Cunningham and Marshawn Ford as well. I know we have scheduled interviews with them at 10 o'clock that Ennis is going to do for his show. So
great.
And Coach Satterfield.
So we'll get him another time.
We'll see if we can. Maybe. So
okay, cool.
We'll find out. We'll find out here. But so we'll talk with them here in just a little bit. We should make a bingo card up for the answers that coaches will give today when asked if the ACC should expand. Let's see what the answers will be. I think the most common one will be whatever's best for the ACC is what I'm for.
Dictated by television.
I think that's yes, dictated by television. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
What else?
Tradition. I wonder
are they a good fit?
Good fit is a good one. If my university president supports it, then I support it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
How close is their airport?
Value?
How close is the airport from their campus? How does that make the footprint look like?
It's a long way from West Virginia, isn't it?
They've got to fly into Pittsburgh, which is always hilarious to me.
Right.
That ESPN cares about the airport. ESPN, whose airport is forever away from ESPN. They care about the proximity of the airport.
It's crazy. Yeah. So we'll see what those other bingo card answers are here this morning. So, but I think you're right on. I think you're right on there with those, with what you have so far. Those will be the most common ones here at ACC Media Days. But it is one of these things that even for the SEC and the ACC, Texas and Oklahoma are what a lot of people are going to be talking about at 2 media days of 2 conferences that they're not in the league. They're not in.
Right.
It changes the entire conversation of college football as of that story breaking yesterday.
It really does. And I'm sitting here wondering, I think it makes a lot of sense if you're just looking at the bottom line of the SEC to add those 2 teams. I mean, it's a no-brainer money-wise. And I'm thinking, if the ACC was to do this, or if the Pac-12 was to do this, what are the 2 most valuable options left? If you're going to only add 2, if you're going to bring in 2, obviously Notre Dame, but let's take Notre Dame off the equation. Would it be Baylor? Would it be Oklahoma State? Would it be Texas Christian? I really don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I kind of think Oklahoma State, don't you? If you had to rank them, if you had to power rank the rest of them.
Yeah, but I know TCU has, really kind of scary oil money. They've got low-key a lot of cash. I know that they're really up and down in football, but whatever the ACC does, they're going to try to improve football, and I think Oklahoma State does that for sure. Mm-hmm. And then is it and West Virginia would a little bit, but Kansas is off the table. Kansas is a non-starter for me in the ACC. Basketball-wise makes a ton of sense. But
basketball-wise makes a ton of sense.
But I don't think that the ACC is going to look at it from a basketball perspective. They're going to look at it as how do we make football stronger, because that's what this is. It's the football arms race, and it's driving realignment. Kansas, you let the Big Ten pick up Kansas. In my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sort of distracted here. I think we've got the guys sitting down.
That's okay.
Got Marshawn Ford and Malik Cunningham sitting down here with us as ACC Media Days are getting ready to get going here. And we got both Marshawn Ford and Malik Cunningham here for about 7-8 minutes here. Kind enough to take some time out. 2 guys, the 2 offensive guys. So gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, who won the fashion award? I mean, I've seen CJ's outfit. Is everybody declaring victory, or who won the fashion award?
We all look good. Yeah, we all look good as one.
Well, I mean, this year, Malik, let's start with you, talking about the offense and not having, the turnovers the offense had last year, which has obviously been the main point of conversation, I think, probably with you. How do you improve that this year?
Well, turnovers is something that you can't really work on. I look at it like just spend more time in the film room and just developing the confidence in your players, and so they know what you're going to do with the ball and you know where they're going to be. So just kind of getting the camaraderie together and just focusing on the main thing and trying to keep those things down. Just basically just watching more film and just knowing where the defenses are going to be and where I need to go when nothing's open.
Coach told me this guy's not coming off the field on offense this year. What makes him such a tough matchup?
I mean, Marcel's like a Swiss Army knife. I mean, he can do everything. He can block, catch, throw. He can run. He hand him off the ball. It's just a blessing to have him a part of our team, and he's always brings so much energy and so much light to the team, especially to the offensive side, and those guys really look up to him. The younger guys do.
Now, Marshawn, go on that. So Coach said you're on the field.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For you though, when this offense is going, what makes it tough for other defenses?
Man, just our style of play. Coach Satterfield calls a play, we run that play, we execute it. We don't look to see if, a lot of teams, we're worried about us. We're not worried about them. So, as long as we line up, execute, then we win.
Yeah. From you, for be a guy being from Louisville to be able to, be on this team, and you probably got family, everybody watching every game. How much pride do you take of being from Louisville and wanting to have a good season?
Man, it's like a dream come true. I'm blessed to get to represent my hometown and get to represent my family in the right way. So we get to show off our talents on national television. Show our hard work that we put, each and every day, and I'm just blessed.
Are you guys making any money? I mean, you got any name, image, and likeness opportunities yet coming your way?
A couple.
Yeah?
A couple. Yes,
yeah?
Sir. A couple.
Yeah, we got a few deals.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
I mean, you want to promote? You got open airwaves. I mean,
no, I mean, everybody. A lot of people already know.
Yeah.
So it's a couple contacts I have in my bios that you can reach out to. But the main thing is keeping the main thing. Not very much worried about the NIL stuff, because
it'll come.
Without making plays, you don't get those type of things. And as a team, we've been focusing on just the main thing, which is coming to work every day, getting better. The NIL stuff will come.
Do you want those deals done prior to the season, or will more deals? If you're playing well, I got to think more opportunities are going to come your way.
Yeah, most definitely. If anybody's playing well, those deals are going to come. So just being patient and just working.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, is it? I mean, obviously something that everybody's excited to do. Do you worry about any of the differences in a locker room? Is there any concern there if one guy's making more than another?
No, not really. I mean, a lot of us as teammates actually like encouraging players. Like, you never see nobody talking down on each other about a deal, because the guys who are getting deals have established themselves or made plays or have a good team in play for those guys to get those endorsements. So things have been going pretty good in the locker room with that type of stuff.
Yeah, what do you think, Marshawn?
Just keeping the main thing. Like he said, we're focused on this season, and like he said, when you make plays, then those opportunities will come during the season. So.
What did you guys miss the most about last year when you couldn't be around one another with the training and everything else? Where did that hold you back maybe as a team the most?
As a family, we weren't able to all get together, sit in the same room, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. Do trips outside like paintballing and stuff, family time. We didn't get to do that stuff, so I felt like that held us back.
Yeah. What do you think?
I would definitely say family time and just being around the coaches, even though they were around us, but not as much as we used to do. Like, we would go every week, a coach would take us out somewhere and just fellowship with the guys and things like that. And just like he said, not being around each other like all the time. So now, like, since most of the team is vaccinated, we can do more, which is always good.
Yeah, like 85% vaccinated, maybe, and then some other guys are getting it. Was that I mean, it's an individual decision, but was it a team conversation? I'm going to start with Marshawn on that. I mean,
yeah, we want things to get back to normal, like 2019. 2020, it wasn't as fun as a good season because we didn't have no fans. We didn't get to spend time with each other all the time. So we all made the decision just to get the vaccine. So, and 85% got it. So things are turning back to normal. So.
Yeah, I mean, so what was the conversation? Was it with the team? Was it individual? I mean,
we had a few players who were optimistic about it, myself as well, and
Me too.
So just reading up on it and just trying to get more knowledge about it, and I ended up getting it. And once that's how it always is. Once a leader get it, the other players, the other soldiers are starting to like, okay, it might be a good idea to get it for the best of the team, and not just being selfish, focused on myself, because there are some things to it that people don't read up on, and some guys might have family issues with the vaccine or like heart problems, things like that. And so once all of us bought in, and it just started like a domino effect, and everybody started to get it for the right reason, for everybody to be here for the whole season.
Well, guys, best of luck today. I know you got other interviews to go do, but certainly wish you luck today and throughout the season.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, there you go. As we have talking to Cunningham and turn my own mic off there. Marshawn Ford here as we are live at Radio Row talking to you here this morning. So Blake and Baker, we're all through for
the interviews for the morning.
Speak now.
So if we get
for the morning show, yes.
So, but we're not going to rule out the possibility that somebody's just going to sit down with Diener. That's the thing.
That's true. Yeah.
You are
Radio
at media day. There's lots of people walking around, but it's what you expect to hear. The positivity. Coming here, and Marshawn Ford is a weapon, and Malik Cunningham, he's a 3-year starter for Louisville football. They do have an offensive line that's coming back entirely intact, and everybody's going to have the questions about Hawkins and Tutu and Dez and how you're going to replace those guys. And I would just say, they've got the core. I'd much rather replace skill position players than offensive line and quarterback. So But at the same time, Tutu and Dez are 2 of your top 10 receivers in Louisville football history. So, in terms of yardage gained, so it is going to be a tough replacement. But I think there are a lot of really important pieces left.
Yeah, and you've got Cunningham. We've just seen 2 different versions of him. If he can be that guy that he was 2 years ago, I don't know why people think he can't be that guy. I mean, that's odd to me. That he was not good last year, but But he was good the year before, so the notion that he can't go back to that, I don't know why people think he can't go back to that, because we've it's not like some freshman you're saying, oh, he's going to be good. No, we've seen him good, and then we've seen him bad. It seems to me you can make that leap to say he can go back to being that guy much easier than someone you haven't seen.
Yeah, that's true. How do he look to you in person? Because, sometimes you see guys like physically mature, and that also manifests itself into like an actual maturity. Like, Malik Cunningham came in and he was a, kind of a smaller quarterback. Like you're like, oh, is he ever going to really grow into that frame? How do he look to you there in person?
It's tough. They're in a suit. It's tough to say. I'm not going to. Who knows? I can't. You can't gauge him how he looked like in a suit versus 2 years ago or last time.
All right,
we probably never seen him in a suit, right?
Well,
but when we saw going in,
but when we saw Teddy go from what he was a freshman to the sophomore to his junior year, it was dramatic. To me, like watching Teddy like physically in a suit, in a sweatsuit or whatever, like it was dramatic. Lamar was similar.
Well, it's so weird. We haven't interviewed guys in person in over 2 years.
That's true.
We're in 2 years. So that's the thing. I'm realizing I haven't seen these guys. I think one thing he did do when we were interviewing him, he put like his mouthpiece in, like top and bottom. So
he did
the interview in the middle when I turned to interview Ford, asked him his first questions. Malik put his mouthpieces in.
It wasn't like an Invisalign. It was a football.
Maybe that was it. Maybe it was. I don't know, but it looked like he was putting like clear mouth guards in.
Oh,
like, I don't know
maybe he forgot to take his Invisalign out or something.
I don't know. Maybe that. Yeah.
Now that would be hilarious.
I didn't know what to make of it.
Malik Cunningham's going to go around on Radio Row, taking in and out of his mouthpiece all day.
Yeah.
Hey, eccentric. That's something Russ Smith would have done if he played football.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I was like, that's an interesting.
That is hilarious.
That.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before. You sent me a picture?
No, I said I should have taken a picture.
Oh, yeah. That would have been great.
Yeah.
It's Andy Sweeney's birthday, by the way.
Oh, it is. All right.
Yeah. He's taking the day off. He's so now Andy Sweeney is the type of dude that takes off on his birthday. We know that.
Yeah. Oh, but do we think, I don't know if that's an annual thing.
Oh, it's just like a this year thing?
Yeah, it's his birthday. It is his birthday. Also, let's see.
I've just got
Matt Ferrari, friend of mine's birthday, and somebody else who I don't know is. So that's as I go through and eliminate friends. Sorry, that one. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Dina unfriended you.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. People give me grief. I don't know the difference between mouthpiece and Invisalign. I don't know. I guess I've never seen. I know what Invisalign is. I don't know that I've ever seen it. I thought it was something you kept in. I didn't know that you.
You take it out like to eat and to talk, and you generally sleep in it, or if you're just not going to be around people, you keep the Invisalign in, and it's clear and it fits over your teeth. A mouth guard takes up your whole mouth, and it's usually used to prevent concussions.
Yeah,
is that what it's for?
Mostly, yeah.
You can prevent a concussion with a mouth guard?
Yeah, that's generally what it's used for.
It can help.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and not biting your tongue off, too, in the middle.
Right.
That helps,
Big play.
Yeah.
Big play. I guess the phrase you're going to hear these guys say a lot is keeping the main thing. Because when you ask them about name, image, and likeness, they both had the exact same phrasing, the exact same answer. And,
they're coachable. Rocco coached them up.
Yeah.
Rocco got them.
Well,
keep the main thing.
Or Satterfield.
Or their position coach. But I am interested to see this offense because year 1 to year 2, Scott Satterfield, very pass heavy, obviously, because you've got Tutu Atwell. And they did run the ball a lot, but they didn't run the ball nearly as much as he did at App State. But he also had similar results in terms of yardage gained, points scored, third down percentage, very similar. I think this year you're going to see more run and more deception with Marshawn Ford, with out of the backfield. Those are the concepts that they used while at App State because they didn't have receivers like Dez and Tutu. Now they're going back to more of your typical college football wide receivers. And not to say that nobody can be special out of this group, but it does look like it's more of what you'd normally have at the wide receiver position and not two standouts like that. So Louisville's going to run the ball more. They're going to run out of play action. When they throw the ball, it'll be out of play action. And Marshawn Ford's going to be a giant weapon. And Hassan Hall will be too, by the way. The backs out of the backfield.
Well, I've been hearing that for a long time. I got to see. I'll believe it when I see it. I've been hearing that for years.
Maybe. App, though, the thing is it was a big part of what they did. And so that being absent here at Louisville over the past 2 years is really kind of odd. And then the only way that you can really kind of say it is either Malik Cunningham doesn't see or like to throw to the check down, or they just really have been forcing the ball to Tutu and Dez. And I think we saw some of those forces over the past 2 years.
We'll get to you here. 267-9680 is our number to do so. Text away that UPS Jobs text line at 437-9680. We just seen on the text line, we do have a man, maybe the bravest man in Louisville, is coming to clean out the fridge tomorrow. He says, Jack. I'll give him a shout out here. Jack Mills says he's up for it. We're going to give him 8. We'll give them all of our tickets to an FC game, Louisville FC game.
Awesome.
So whatever time you want to come, man, we have people there starting at 6:30 a.m. and going till the night. If that fridge is going to get a cleaning tomorrow. I don't really think he knows what he's signing up for.
Please don't come at 6:30. I'll get startled.
Why?
Because I'll get startled.
But what if he's going to come clean it and he's going to go to work?
What do you mean you'll get startled?
I'll get startled.
Why would you not get startled at 7? Why would you get startled at 6:30 and not 7:30?
Because I'm focused by 7 o'clock. But 6:30 before the show, I'm not.
I'll get startled.
I'll get startled.
We're not gonna shorten the window of time that we're going to get somebody in here to volunteer.
Whenever this guy wants to do it.
Yeah, my
guess is he's not coming at 6:30 would be my guess. But, yes, we are not – oh, no, we could have gotten the fridge clean, but process was going to be startled if an expected visitor showed up. Not an unexpected visitor, an expected visitor.
You don't know what types of insane people knock on the windows in the middle of the night.
That's true.
Freaking scary.
I understand, but this is somebody that we're expecting.
Now, Andy says that he and Pat cleaned out the fridge. Oh, no, he threw everything out. No, we're talking about scrubbing it. The fridge and the freezer. We're talking about a thorough scrubbing.
Yeah, a thorough scrubbing,
Yeah, I'm sure he moved all the pizza that Nick Valvano has said he's going to eat from a month ago out of there, and sandwiches from Which that are from 3 Wednesdays ago.
I don't want to see Nick today. I don't want to see Jack today. They're dead to me. The combined effort of 10 hot dogs in 5 minutes is a disgrace to this station.
But wait a minute, you didn't participate in it, so how are you going to get mad at them?
But I didn't come on the air with all the bluster. I didn't call people out. I will not participate in an eating challenge. But because I won't do that, I won't talk trash about it ahead of time. And, these guys, they called the dude a cheater last year because he didn't eat the buns. And while I agree with them, you've got to back that up with a good performance. And they did not do that. So I think they should be suspended. I think they can come back on Monday. All right? Like, I want to see them on Monday. It was unacceptable. 10 between the two of them.
Are you? But I think are you more disappointed in Jack Grossman? Only, getting to 6. I don't know where that put Nick. I don't know where that ranked him.
I don't know. Yeah, no, I think we need to put it in their performance review if we do those. Do we do those here?
No, we don't do those. We're talking about.
Do we do those here?
That's what big companies do.
Oh, okay.
So we're here at ACC Media Day. Scott Satterfield will take the podium at noon, and the players will as well. So you'll hear more from him there. I don't know what questions the rest of the league is going to have for Scott Satterfield. I think Louisville is a pretty below the radar type of team. We'll find out though. We'll see. Blankenbaker was all touchy that Lane Kiffin wasn't asked about Louisville. We'll see if I was. If Satterfield is asked about Ole Miss.
I am. The thing
is, there's a plant. Unless you've planted it with Mark.
I haven't done any work on that. I am expecting him to be asked if he thinks that the Carrier Dome is loud, even though he's never been there. Things like that, ridiculous questions from the podium that we get at the ACC. But I do think that what we're going to hear a ton of today is going to be that SEC conversation. Every single coach, at every single radio row, every single podium and breakout session is going to be asked about that. And I think these guys are coming in prepared to talk about NIL and what to expect, with their team this year. I don't know. But Louisville this year, though, I'm expecting big things. And I really want to know, is Louisville in the same category as LSU and Penn State that really just were off in 2020? And I think are both
when
those,
you say in the category of LSU and Penn State.
And when I say that,
that's
look at what they
easy. You're going to have to sift
in
through
2020.
That.
Both of those programs were way down. off of what they typically do. Like Penn State was terrible in 2020. LSU, terrible in 2020. Louisville wins 4 games only at home, and that's way off what they typically do. Of a 8-9 win season. For Louisville, typically that's like what they do when they have a good year or a normal year. LSU and Penn State typically are 10-11 win teams, and they didn't qualify for bowls.
But I don't know. What would you say Louisville is a typical win team? What win team would you say Louisville is?
I would say Louisville's like an
gauge in the AC.
8-win team. I mean,
are they?
Yeah, because
last time they won 8, it was a massive surprise.
Well, okay, first year in the league, they won 8.
Yeah.
They won 8.
Okay.
Second year in the league, 2015, 8. 2016, they won 9. 2017, they won 8.
Memory. I'm trying to look this up.
8, 9, 8. And then in 2018, they won 2. That's the last year of Bobby Petrino. Then first year of Satterfield, 8. It's 8, 9. And then when they're bad, they win 2 or 4. And, in that. So when I'm saying for a good Louisville year, typically they're an 8 to 9 win team. And they won 4 last year. Similar, like LSU, typically they're a 10-11 win team.
Okay.
And then they were down. And, you got a lot of – and I think there are other programs out there that were way off their average win expectancy. And I'm hoping that Louisville's one of those teams. Like, we'll find out, clearly, when we play out the season. Yeah. We'll find out. Or is this, or is Louisville's, did 2018 set them back? Is Scott Satterfield the right guy for the job? Those are the questions we're going to answer, I think, in 2021.
I did get my media guide, so I've got usually to be able to flip to the back to see the year-by-year records. They move stuff around on me here, so can't keep up with Blanket Baker's instant total recall of the win total by year. I used to be able to do that. Now that's I guess old age.
You got to fact check me. No,
I mean I want to have it for myself, but I don't know that their all-time year-by-year records are there. I think I found the first mistake in the media guide.
Oh, really? Already?
Yeah. Year-by-year records. No, hang on. No, I've got it. You're right. You're right. So in the ACC, 9, 8, I guess that's fair to say. And they've been the ACC 7 years, and in 5 of them they've had 8 or more wins.
Yeah.
And then you had the disastrous 2-10 and 4-7. So I guess that's fair to say they should. That if you want to call Louisville a typical 8-win team, that is a standard of expectation that seems reasonable amongst the fans because they've seen it happen before.
Right.
Even though I don't know I don't think that's the expectation this year. I think the expectation is 7, 8 would be nice.
That's the thing is like when I see the Ole Miss game, if we are competitive in that game or win it, like that's when I'm going to base my opinion of the game or of the season because there are. And in 2019, too, there were a lot of 50-50 games, like where, one play goes the other way, they lose that game. And in 2020, the same thing was true. Like, they were in all these games late, but turnovers killed them, and they ended up only winning 4 games. So I want to see the execution be better. I want to see us get off the field on third down a lot better. We talk about the really big improvements that Louisville had on the defensive side of the ball. It didn't happen on third down. Like you would expect that a team that's 60 yards better on defense to really have a big movement on third down. They didn't. They were basically the same team. So when they needed stops last year, and Vince talked about it yesterday, they didn't get the stops that they really needed. Now they were bigger. They were way better in yardage. But when it comes down to push comes to shove in the fourth quarter, you're gonna win a one possession game. You got to get the right stop at the right time, and that was a big difference between 2019 and 2020. Even though the numbers are the same, they were able to get those important stops in 2019 that they didn't get in 2020. Even though the defense was better overall, so these are small differences, but it does add up. To whether or not you're a 4-win team or an 8-win team. And I'm hoping we can get back to the 8-win team, although I do think the expectation, like you said, is 7.
I think it's 7. I think the expectation is right there. And Andy points out that he said he did a segment yesterday like this where that U of L is basically a 500 team if you go by the last 5 years. That may be statistically true. I still think, though, 2018 is such an outlier that you had to, we're having an interim coach. By the way, that'd be a great trivia question. I wouldn't have gotten this. I had totally forgotten. Who was the interim coach when they fired Bobby for those last 2 games? Do you remember?
Whammy, Ward, and he's the defensive coordinator at Chattanooga right now.
That's pretty good. Lorenzo Ward. Yeah, I would have I was totally blanked on that. But, yeah, well, that may be true. Also, their first 2 years, I mean, they won 9 and 1-8. I think you have to look at it all. If you look at their time in the ACC, I think it's reasonable if you're a fan to say, yeah, we ought to be at about that 8-win level. I mean, I think that's what Louisville football fans, in the ACC, I think want to expect. And if they win 7 this year, the expectation is to win 8 next year. By the way, every single person is getting the same camera shot here at the ACC. If you cover media, it's coming up the escalator with the ACC logo. I mean, I'm sure if you've seen it once on social media, you've seen it 20 times. I did it my first time going up the escalator, and I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. And then every other person that has come up has done the exact same thing.
It's what a marketing person with the ACC wants you to do. They want you to take that photo. They want you to share it on social media. Although I did get 2014 wrong. I said Louisville won 8. They did win 9, and they did
won 9. Blankenbaker.
Yeah, they won 9. Well, I mean, it was 7 years ago, but they did that with Will Gardner at quarterback too, so that's with a very, very good defense, and so that's I'm hoping that even though we don't have, I think, would you say Malik Cunningham's better than Will Gardner? Would you say that?
I would, yes, I would.
Yeah, I think I would too. But at the same time, I don't think we're going to have the defense be as good as 2014 was. Like, it'll be a long time before we have a defense that even approaches 2013, 2014. I'm hoping Brian Brown's the guy that gets us there. But those teams were dominant. Like, Louisville was in 2013, I'm going off the top of my head here, but they were both top 5 in third down, on defense and offense. And, that's, you just don't see that. Yeah, they were first on defensive third down conversions, and they were second in offensive third down conversion. You just don't see that happen very often, and that's Louisville in 2013.
All right, we will continue along here. 267-9680 is our number to get in. You can text into the UPS Jobs text line at 437-9680 as we will bring you more coverage here from Radio Row. And, of course, Mark Guinness will be along with the drive this afternoon. He's got a ton of interviews lined up, I know, and he'll have Coach Satterfield on here as well. We had him on a little bit earlier. He did tell us there's going to be a spring game coming this year, so that is sort of some news of morning. Hey, if you're thinking about redoing your home theater, RGB Home Theaters, they redid mine. It's a totally different viewing experience. Red, green, blue. RGBHometheaters.com. That's the website. And, again, these guys are engineers by trade, so they're going to think of something that you probably haven't thought of. When they came to my house, I thought I was going to do one thing, and then, boy, they had a hell of a lot better plan than I had. So if you have been thinking about investing in that home theater, whether it's in your living room, whether it's maybe in your basement, maybe it's outside, whatever your needs are, RGB Home Theaters can take care of it. It's red, green, blue. RGBHometheaters.com, and they're going to be the ones that change the way your viewing and listening experience goes. So RGB, red, green, blue, RGBHometheaters.com, and be sure to tell me who's talking about them here on The Diener Show.
You're listening to The Diener Show, presented by OPC Pest Services on ESPN 680, 105.7, and 93.9 The Ville. Now, here's Drew Diener and Mark Blankenbaker.
Hey, ACC Media Day here. Our coverage brought to you in part by GE Appliances and Body Armor Sports Drink. We'll have Scott Satterfield's presser today at noon and be carrying on all stations, ESPN 680, 105.7, and 93.9 The Ville. So we got... Did
we lose Drew? All right, we lost Drew there. Drew will work on his connection there for a second, and we will... We'll be back live from Charlotte. I don't know what direction he was going, their process, but while he's doing that, I'll tell people about Louisville Family Audiology. It'll give you a comprehensive and complimentary hearing evaluation over there at Louisville Family Audiology. I did that. I'm going to actually go back there soon. Drew and I will be there in a couple of weeks, and we have our hearing checked, and you should put it on your list, too, of the things that you should do to take care of yourself. Get your hearing evaluated. They'll put you in a box. They'll tell you exactly where you are, and then they can let you test drive the hearing aids, and then you can go through your options to figure out what you can do, what will work best for your plan on your hearing. So Louisville Family Audiology is the place that you can go to have your hearing evaluated. It's totally free. There's no obligation, and you should take care of that. And I think we have Drew back now.
Yeah, I made the mistake of plugging the jetpack in, so I should never do that. Yeah, don't mess with anything. Yeah, don't mess with anything at all when it's working here.
That's right. Don't mess with perfection. Yeah.
Well, and I figured out, by the way, why our Ethernet line was not quite so effective. When they came over and tested it, they're capping the speeds, if you get a little geeky inside here, of your upload and download at 4.
Oh, really? Why?
Megabytes per second.
You know that it's famously slow.
That doesn't power anything. That doesn't power anything.
The internet is famously slow at these. Like, I remember going to those breakout sessions and filming an hour of Lamar Jackson, and it taking the upload time is like tomorrow at 4:00, and I'm like, what? And so I just switched it to my
cap it. Yeah,
I switched to my cell phone and it worked just fine. So the ACC has. Why would they cap it? Like, what's the purpose of that?
They got a lot of people, I don't know. I mean,
you only got so much bandwidth. You got to do something about it.
I bet the SEC's not capping their bandwidth.
Oh, I disagree.
Well, especially when they had Texas and Oklahoma, they can have all the bandwidth they want.
Get all the bandwidth. Yeah, I mean, they're going to be running fiber. They're going to have AT&T reps rolling through there, promising really fast internet speeds, and then charging you double.
Look, I'll put it this way. If the Pac-12 does not have the best internet, there's problems, okay?
That's true. Silicon Valley better have the best internet.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. That's great. Yeah, so, I just think of all the talk show hosts in all the Big 12 towns that are not Texas and Oklahoma this morning, all saying, what the hell are we going to do when they leave the league?
Yeah.
I mean, because that's what we were. That's what we were. That was Sports Talk Radio in Louisville for 2-3 years.
It dominated it
every day. What if this happens? And what if that happens? And what if they do this? If we take these leftovers? And where will they go from here? And
it was really the conversation from 2005 to 2012. It was like 7 years of conversation because the wheels of conference realignment were turning. The guy we had on from the Chick-fil-A kickoff game earlier, he made a good point. Texas Tech is going to fight this. Oklahoma State's going to fight this. Missouri and A&M are going to fight this. And it's just a matter of, will the governors and university presidents...
Right, will the politicians get involved? Right. That's what you wonder, because in Oklahoma and Oklahoma State's case, I remember when they were going through this expansion, how many years ago it was, they had to go to the same league if they were going somewhere. They had to take them together. But, Texas is such a big state. How is Baylor private? Is Baylor private?
I think Baylor is a private Baptist school. Yes, I think so.
Okay. I have to double check
and
that.
TCU, but, I don't know if TCU may also be private. I'm not sure about those, though.
Yeah. Baylor is private Baptist. You're correct. And I'm with you. I think TCU is a private Christian university.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that they would not be public. So I don't know that you'd necessarily get politicians involved for them, but you would for a Texas Tech.
Correct.
As you say there. And I still wonder, 40's scenario that he put out in his column, could Texas be an independent? Could they pull Notre Dame? They're one of the few that could really do that. But my guess is, if you see this report with these two schools, that they are planning on doing this. This is a game that you don't play with your own conference members if you're already going to be gone. And it was placed on purpose, timing wise, with Texas A&M, by the Texas A&M people who are trying to block this from happening. And I don't know. What do you think's more likely? The Big 12 survives and adds teams, or that it goes away? Because I can make a case for both. Because you were bringing up, there's no two teams that they could add that would make them whole and bring them back to where they are now if they lose both of them. But I don't know what the appetite is for other leagues to go. Are they saying the same thing we're saying about West Virginia? Is the Pac-12 saying, yeah, I guess we could get TCU, but do we need them?
Yeah, do we need them at all? That's the great question. And I do think that the Pac-12 looks at this differently than the ACC, because the Pac-12 is desperate to get, on all the major carriers, and they currently aren't. If you want the Pac-12 network, you got to get some very specialized plan to get that. And what's the most likely scenario?
The Big Ten want any of them?
I think the Big Ten would take Kansas. If they felt like they needed to expand, I think Kansas is the type of market that the Big Ten would want. I think Iowa State would be left holding the bag. I don't know what other piece the Big Ten would want to take. Well, they have Iowa, but
State.
Iowa's not going to let Iowa State in the league. It'd be like Kentucky letting Louisville in the SEC. It's not going to happen. But yeah,
the remaining teams are. Just in case to refresh your memory, would be Iowa State, Oklahoma State, TCU, West Virginia, Kansas State, Texas Tech, Baylor, and Kansas.
I think initially, Drew, the response will be for the Big 12 to try to remain intact. And I don't know if you remember, but the Big East got Texas Christian to join the league, and then Texas Christian bolted for the Big 12. I think you'll probably see
Boise and San Diego State to join the league too. The Big East had San Diego State all set to join. That was the all-timer of the silliness of expansion when San Diego State was going to join the Big East. Yeah,
that's so funny. But I think you'll probably see the Big 12 try to patchwork this out, add a Houston, try to get BYU, try to get a Memphis or a Cincinnati, something like that, and probably even go bigger because they know that because they were smaller in their membership, it actually made them more ripe for poaching. And then extend grant of rights. If they can extend grant of rights right now, and whether it's Texas and Oklahoma, that really steadies the ship. The reason why the ACC is so solid is because their grant of rights go out to 2035. You have to pay, I think it's $70 million.
What that means is you give up all your TV money, no matter what league you're in, back to the league.
That's correct.
So it doesn't do any good to go just for. We haven't heard that term in so long, but that's what it is. I think the ACC is on solid ground. Do they want to add insurance in West Virginia that probably doesn't make you any more money? I don't think by the time you divide it back out, but maybe you invite them in on a crappy deal, like I think the Big 12 did, right? Hey, you're going to get this much in the first year, this much in the second.
Like Maryland's deal with the Big Ten. Maryland had a crappy deal with the Big Ten. It actually almost wrecked their whole program because they went in making 50% or I don't remember the percentage. They were not making the full membership rate for the first 5 years of their agreement with the Big Ten. It took a long time for them to finally steady out their ship. West Virginia is only interesting to me because of geography. I think that you have more upside out west with Oklahoma State, with a Baylor or a Texas Tech. Even though I do not want to go to Texas Tech. We don't need to go to the moon every other year, type of thing. Yeah. But maybe a TCU makes sense. I don't know. That I would need to really kind of get down into the numbers and sort of figure that out. But to me,
but what about Kansas? You don't like Kansas, right?
I don't like Kansas because they weaken football.
It makes a hell of a. But don't you need? Hey, everybody needs a Vandy, right?
We got Wake Forest. We got Syracuse. We got Boston College. We had Kansas. It makes the ACC football more weak. If you took Oklahoma State and Kansas. I know, but this is about football. We can rationalize. When we're talking about Oklahoma and Texas leaving for the SEC, it's a football decision. And even though basketball is better in the SEC, if that happens, it is a football decision. You don't take Kansas because of their basketball tradition. You just don't. They are an abysmal football program. They had a track around their football field 5 years ago. Yeah. Okay, you cannot have that. I think you let the Big Ten take Kansas. But the other side of that coin, though, Drew, is how many cable subscribers are there in Kansas?
Well, right, yeah, and you get Kansas and Missouri. Does that does it help you in both of those states? This is for Jim. Here you go, Jim Phillips. Welcome to your first year on the job. Now, in addition to name, image, and likeness, college football playoff expansion, transferring all over the place, now you may have realignment again, which it will define. Everything for you as it defined John Marinato in the end.
Oh, boy. Marinato was not prepared for all that, unfortunately. And they needed Train Greasy.
I didn't realize he never did an interview. Yeah, I didn't realize until Andrew Adamson's article, he never did an interview after the league basically fell apart and he resigned or whatever, was fired, whatever the case was, that he'd never done it because he was apparently so ashamed about it, even though I don't know what they could have done. There was just the world was changing and the Big East was not as viable once you lost. Who knew that Pittsburgh and Syracuse would carry that kind of
right. Well, Miami and Virginia Tech started it, and once those two teams left, that really
that was years before that, though.
Yeah, but right? The Big East also, don't forget, in the 90s, or was it the 80s? I forget if it was the 80s or the 90s. that Penn State they turned down Penn State for membership. Like if you get Penn State into the Big East, and you've got Miami and Virginia Tech, and you probably don't break up. Like that might have been the piece that kept the Big East. And I also wonder, like, if this happens, does it take the model that they've proposed for the 12-team playoff? Does it take it back to the drawing board? Does it change it? Yeah, I don't know. Because are they going to do 6 conference champions? Because it was the highest rated with only 4 power leagues?
I still think it probably does, because you still can get the most at-large bids out of it. And I think that's what the SEC is trying to do. So if the Big 12 doesn't get one, but I don't know, pick whatever league you like, the American does in a given year, they still have the same opportunity to get the number of same number of teams there. But you're right. Maybe they say, you know what, we're going to tweak this. We'll make it, now that we've got mega conferences, we'll make it 5 highest rated conference champs, and that'll even give them an opportunity for more at-large teams to be in there if they were to fall apart. Yeah, you're probably right. It probably does a little bit, because they don't. Any chance they get more at-large teams, these power conferences are going to ask for it and probably justifiably get it.
That's right. And going to the text line real quick, this is one of the reasons why we don't go to the text line today. Blankenspreader is saying we got Syracuse and we have just barely been beating or losing to them the last few years. Check the box scores, gentlemen. Check them. Check them. Check them. The one time Louisville lost
the all-time record.
2018 is the last time Louisville lost to them, and last year Louisville shut their asses out. Okay, and then the year before that, it was like 1,000 yards, and then Lamar jumped over a guy. Okay, get out of here with that text. Check the box scores before you start texting the show, and trying to get on here and call me Blankenspreader.
Get some facts and come back and see me.
Get some facts and then come back and see me.
So it was 30-0 last year. 56-34 the year before. Then the 2018 year they lost. When they
did
lost
lose
to everybody.
We got Heidi that game.
They beat them. Yeah, beat them 56-10, 62-28, 41-17, 28-6. So, yeah. Ever since they've been in the ACC, they have rocked Syracuse, with the exception of the quitter year. 2018,
and that was the game that Bobby got fired after. Get some facts and come back and see me. Also, the one game where we burned Adonis Boone's red shirt by playing him in the 5th game on an extra point.
Let's see. Adding teams to a conference is about adding TV sets, not geography. Oh yeah. Oh, we definitely understood that a long time ago. Let's see. Gundy's going to be on OAN talking conference realignment.
Oh boy! Oh my God!
Yeah.
But no, politics. You mentioned the OAN. Politics will drive a big part of this bus, and I don't know what the other league members like if you're Vandy, Kentucky, South Carolina, trying to think of, I know Missouri and A&M are not happy about this, but if you're Ole Miss and Mississippi State, and you're bringing in Oklahoma and Texas, the league's getting more and more difficult for you. I wonder how they feel about it. The LSUs and the Floridas and Alabamas and Auburns, they think they can compete with anybody, so they're not worried about that. But in terms of football, if you're UK and you've been building towards this, and you've got your football coach, he's advocating for 8 wins, and he's scheduling New Mexico State, who lost to Tarleton State last year, which I'd never even heard of Tarleton State. Okay,
Tarleton.
Have you ever heard of that? Tarleton?
Yeah, the one Tarleton. Yeah,
never heard of Tarleton.
I cross paths with that.
But anyway, I wonder, the competitive balance of the league. How do those teams feel about it? Has Sankey done like a straw poll?
Well, I mean, the thing of it is, though, if you're a highly ranked team, let's say you're Auburn or something, you're having a good year, and you lose to Texas, I don't think you fall that far if Texas is good. They always gives. The SEC just gets given the benefit of the doubt, and probably justifiably in a lot of years, but maybe not so in other years. I think the other part of it is, too, if it does go away, I think the scenario you talk about where maybe they tweak the playoff system, now if there's an extra at-large spot, then it really doesn't.
Right.
SEC is going to be fine no matter what. I mean, I think the SEC, by adding 2 tradition-dripping programs with football like that, makes everybody better.
Yeah.
It makes it more competitive, but, man, some of the regular season matchups would just be crazy.
They would be amazing.
Alabama, Oklahoma. That's a bowl. That sounds like the Sugar Bowl every year.
It does sound like a Sugar Bowl.
Alabama, Oklahoma. And instead it would be a regularly, potential scheduled game. It's just crazy to think of all the possibilities.
I'm looking at you on the ACC network right now. Mark Ennis is walking back and forth. I'm seeing Ennis, and he's walking away. He's picking up a chair now. I'm watching.
He's sitting right next to me now. You're on about a 10-second delay. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't know which camera it is that's right behind.
It's the one that I think is with Mark Richt.
He's going to point at you here in about 5 seconds.
Okay, cool. Well, they're not. They don't have that camera view at the moment. But it's been weird to watch you on the ACC network and talk with you live today. It's been a little strange for me.
I'm just waiting to talk about Tarleton, Texas.
Let's see. I want to make sure this is right before I just go with this. Do you know who the basketball coach at Tarleton State is?
I have no idea. No idea.
Billy Gillespie.
No, are you joking?
Billy Gillespie.
Tarleton State?
Billy Gillespie.
Yes.
He is the basketball coach at Tarleton. That's why I've heard of it. When you said that, I'm like, there's a reason I've heard of that.
Yeah, I mean,
that's exactly why.
Kentucky's playing New Mexico State, who lost to Tarleton, and then Louisiana Monroe was 0 for 10 last year, and Chattanooga FCS. It's like, and then you're going to add Oklahoma and Texas. Like, Mark Stoops lost sleep last night. I mean, he lost sleep. Like, he's going to have to. He's like, can y'all add like another Vanderbilt? Like, we'll do that. Like, let's add 4 Vandies.
What about adding Kansas?
Get Kansas. Forget that.
Kansas.
We're doing a Big 12 SEC expansion. Go holler at Kansas, please. It would actually be really good for basketball.
What? What is their, TV contract worth when you add those two in? I mean,
it's huge. It's huge.
You can ask for whatever you want. Whatever you want.
You should know that it's going to be worth a lot if Texas is willing to just trash the Longhorn Network to join the SEC deal.
Yeah,
that should tell you what it's going to be.
Yeah,
it's going to be giant.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see what. I wish Jim Phillips had, not had. I wish they had dropped this on Sunday or Monday so we could have Phillips address what the ACC does, because you'd like to know now, hey, Mr. Commissioner, with all the fine things you said and all the, let me read off the hits here. The ACC has won 3 of the last 8 football national titles and 3 of the last 6 men's basketball national championships, and all the accolades and all the national championships in lacrosse or field hockey, whatever you're talking about the other day. No, man, we want to know what you're going to do. This is what the SEC is doing. What is the ACC going to do?
Yeah,
that's what we want to know.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I know the ACC wants to restructure its television contract. As soon as they signed it, it was antiquated and put the ACC in a future big disadvantaged position, even though it got them close on the day that it signed it. Everybody knew that the SEC and Big Ten was going to have more money in the pot, very shortly thereafter. So that is sort of in the arms race of college football, which is an arms race. Like, the television network deal is the big thing, and you want to be in the SEC's leaving CBS. They've broken that deal to tell you how this is all happening. So, the ACC's got to figure out a way to, get another feather in the cap to make ESPN, or go snag that CBS deal, or do something to make sure that they are a financially viable television network to, keep their members on the forefront of college football financially.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter. I text her, it's like the Notre Dame argument. Texas is the most overrated program in the history of college sports. Just a bunch of old boosters with oil money all taught. Well, that's fine, but they bring eyeballs. And it's like Notre Dame. You can give me all the stats you want why you think they're overrated. They matter. They bring eyeballs. Texas and Oklahoma matter. They when you go to negotiate with your television partners, they matter. They matter big time.
Money.
So especially, and that's.
Money's huge, and
it's not about results. It's really, results are frankly irrelevant. It is about hype, and the hype is what gets you the dollars.
But Texas is looking at Texas A&M and what Jimbo Fisher's have been able to do recruiting in the SEC, and they are looking at it from a competitive advantage. Though, like, Texas is like, I want what Texas A&M has now. It's always been A&M wanting what Texas had. As soon as A&M went into the SEC and they got that recruiting bump, that changed things for Texas and Oklahoma, I think, to say we need to figure out a way to make us be able to recruit to the Big 12. And if we can't do that, why don't we just join the SEC? And I think that that's a big reason, because Texas is going to make money. Like, they're going to make money no matter where they go. But they want to be in – they don't want to have Texas A&M to have something that they don't have. And that's one of the reasons that's driving this bus forward. They want to be able to get back to being to Texas and being able to get, the pick of the litter in the state of Texas as they go and recruit the state.
Yeah, it's going to be, it's so fascinating to do this all over again. And you know what? The nice part about doing this all over again, when you're safely secured in a league that matters, is it's a lot less stressful than, oh my God, is our schedule going to suck? I mean, remember that used to always be. I mean, how are we going to play anybody good ever? And you could never get a game. Now you never have that problem. In fact, I think for some of these years they're overscheduling. When you look at some of the non-conference, schedules there, you mentioned Texas A&M. They're on a future schedule.
Yeah, they are. Louisville.
But it's nice to. It'll be nice to watch this in a chair that is not musical chairs and is moving around. Like they've got a seat to sit in, and now they get to decide and now have some say in. What happens with the Reds? Because if they leave, I don't know that the Big 12 holds its own future in its hands. I think the other leagues who determine we want Oklahoma State or we want pick a team, West Virginia, are going to decide their fate more than, hey, we can go out and get Houston or try to get BYU or whatever the case may be.
That's right.
They don't even hold their own fate in their hand, and everybody's going to be lying to everybody. In the Big 12. yes, we're here, we're committed here. We can go. The ACC?
We can go Pac-12. Pac-12 wants us.
Yeah,
Pac-12 wants us.
Yeah, we're all here. We're united front here in the Big 12 united front. They're going to take us in the ACC.
What time?
Okay, let's go.
What time's that invite call? What time's that invite call coming? Because he keeps asking me to sign a grant of rights agreement, and I don't want to sign it, so you all need to invite us right now. Okay?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's exactly what's going to be happening, and it is that, like, if you're Bob Bowlesby, right? He's still the commissioner of the Big 12. Mm-hmm. You need to get the remaining members to sign that grant of rights agreement. Yeah. Like, you need to get everybody in because if it's a $70 million decision, university presidents aren't walking away from $70 million. You've got to get these schools to commit to you long term. Otherwise, West Virginia will go. Kansas could go. Baylor, Oklahoma, or Oklahoma State, Texas Tech. All these schools are going to be right for the picking.
Well, it's going to be fun.
Texter says Clemson and FSU will one day go to the SEC, and I don't think Florida and South Carolina are going to be very accommodating to that.
Open to that? No, they're not. They're not open to that. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen.
And they don't
even though
really
that is what they feel like.
Yeah. I mean, I think Clemson fits in the SEC clearly. But
I've always thought that.
But how many television subscribers do they add? How many cable subscribers?
They like the Mickey Mouse schedule anyway. They don't want to play anybody difficult.
I disagree. I think Clemson would rather, play. They're opening with Georgia this year.
Yeah, but the sheer fact that Dabo's out there going, oh, man, I don't want to expand the playoff. I don't want to play more games. That tells me he just wants the easier schedule. He wants the easier road to the championship.
Don't make me defend Clemson.
I love Clemson.
Yeah, they schedule out. They play South Carolina every year, and like you said, they're opening with Georgia. So, yeah, no, I think his point is not wrong. Scott Satterfield said it the day that we were asking about it, that just because you had 12 teams in the playoff doesn't mean they all deserve to be there.
Yeah.
Were there even 4 deserving teams last year? Hell, I don't know.
I just think you let everybody play it. You settle it on the field. Take politics out of football as best you can.
All right, well, we will, and by the way, Clemson has a home and home with LSU coming up in the future as well.
So thank you, Texter.
I didn't realize that. Wow. All right, well, that'll do it for us sort of for now. We'll have Scott Satterfield back at noon for his press conference. Mark Ennis is going to have some interviews as well, maybe during Maven's show, so we will do all that here as we continue along. But that's it for me for ACC Media Day. Talk to you more.
Are you looking for your next opportunity in the workforce? Look no further. UPS Jobs Kentucky is now hiring at upsjobsky.com. Right now, we are offering up to $18.50 an hour. You may even be eligible for a program that helps you graduate college completely debt-free and could also include a $325 a month living allowance paid directly to you. Follow us at UPS Jobs Kentucky and apply today at upsjobsky.com.
There's nothing more important than a child's health. That's why Body Armor Sports Drink is proud to partner with Walmart and Children's Miracle Network hospitals, raising funds for 156 children's hospitals across the U.S. Children's hospitals are on the front lines when it comes to protecting the health of our future generations. But they are not alone. Please join Body Armor Sports Drink to support the cause. Together, when we change kids' health, we change the future. Go to childrensmiraclenetworkhospitals.org to donate and learn more. That's childrensmiraclenetworkhospitals.org.
GE Appliances is hiring full-time for all shifts. Join our manufacturing team and make up to $660 per week. Apply today at makeitatatthepark.com. Make a difference. Make it at GE Appliance Park.
Head over to the GE Appliances Podcast Center on ESPNLouisville.com.